outside, you have got a solar panel, so if you leave that on, what the solar panel will do is keep this leisure battery topped up for you. So next time you go away, you know there's still life in the battery. When you plug into mains, the battery charger will kick in and fully charge back up the battery for you. What the solar panel does is constantly keep your battery alive.
Oh, right.
So there isn't really much need to isolate that, unless you're storing it inside somewhere. Then yes, I would switch that off, because as I say, it stops any drain off your leisure battery. Okay.
Did you get that?
Yes.
So if you remember, in the key on the front is for your isolating your vehicle battery.
Yeah.
That button there, it can isolate your leisure battery if you need to.
But not to, because of the solar panel.
Yeah, because you've got the solar panel on, it will keep some life in that battery for you.
So you leave that on constantly unless it was garaged?
Yeah, if you stick it inside, then yes, I would switch that off, because then it stops the drain off your leisure battery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it won't do, will it?
No.
More or less, don't touch it.
Yeah, that's it. Now, moving down the top, we've got the red one here. It's not a button as such, it's just a light. Now, it's a reverse polarity light. If you are planning on going on to the continent, you may find this will light up quite often. All it is the French and Germans wiring backwards to ours. So their positives are negative, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So when you plug the power in, if you see that lit up, what it means is it's not powering the van, because it'll shut the power off in the unit there. So rather than frazzling your electrics, it just shuts it off in there. So if you see the light, you know it's a problem with the power externally.
So what do you do then in that circumstance?
It's either a rewire of your leads, or you can get an adapter.
So if you're going abroad to those countries, you need an adapter?
Yeah, but you'll find most of the campsite owners will help you out with that anyway. Or you know what it's like, if you go on the forums and that, there's 1,000,001 other people that'll give you 1,002 different bits of advice. But yeah, it's either a rewire or an adapter. Okay. Then we've got battery charger, heating and hot water. Now, I would just leave them two on constantly, because they're only live when you're plugged into the mains. And when you're plugged into mains, you want your battery charger going and recharging back up your leisure battery, and then also you want to be running your heating and hot water off the mains electric while you're plugged into it. Okay.
So the solar's doing it when you're travelling then,
Yep.
is it? That's doing it when you're standing still?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the solar panel is still doing something now.
So that's going to be doing it as well?
Yeah. You can have the two chargers going at the same time. It's perfectly fine. Well, in the good old days, you could blow batteries up and silly things like that. Not everything's so user-friendly nowadays. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about it. Just leave everything switched on and such, and it'll just do what it's supposed to do. Okay. We've then got 12-volt fuses, 240 breakers. So 240 breakers are the same as your mains power in your house, and then the 12-volt fuses, but they are all labelled up on here. So if something's not switching on, all you need to do is come down here, have a look which one it is, and change the relevant fuse over. But even easier than that, on these modern fuse boards, it will light up with a red LED next to the fuse that's blown.
Oh right, that's
so it's just a matter of pulling the fuse out, replacing it, and off you go.
Is there any spares?
There is some inside the pack, so inside the Bible there is somewhere in there a little small pack of fuses, but they're readily available. Obviously we do the best ones here at Salop Leisure, but yeah, you can get fuses from most places anyway. Okay. Now, the fan down here took some finding. See the little switch you've got here?
Yeah.
For the life of me, I had to go and get the engineer to figure out what it is. What it is an additional heating system for your bathroom.
Oh.
So, when you've got your Aldi system on, which I'll show you in a minute, that turns the whole outside of your van into a giant radiator. So it literally heats up an antifreeze solution, and then works the same as your radiators in your home, and it just pumps the hot water or the hot solution around the van for you.
Flipping heck.
Fantastic it is. But there isn't one as such in the bathroom, so what this one is an additional heater. So when you've got your heating on up there, if you want some additional heat in the bathroom, all you simply need to do is just come and turn that one on. But that only kicks in when you've got your heating going here, so it doesn't work separately. You need your main heating on for this to give out. Okay. We'll just turn that off for now, but then I'll show you once we get into the bathroom. It'll make more sense what the use of it's for.
Okay.
I won't come in there, look, because you won't all get in. You can film it, and we'll still have it on film, so I can see it.
Yeah. Well, I normally get in the shower. Don't worry. I've been doing it a year and a half now, so I'm quite good at squeezing in smallish spaces. But what I'll do next is we'll do all the controls above the door now. So. First control panel here, so power off, and as you see that's switched everything off for the living quarters. So this, imagine, the easiest way of describing this is everything that way now. Okay, so, power back on. Come on. There we go. So, power on. Now, what it's showing us at the minute, it's letting us know, lightning strikes, letting me know we're on mains electric. And then, do you see the F here? That's fresh water. So it's letting me know we've got about quarter of a tank in. And then the W on this side is your waste. And as you can see, there's nothing there, so it means your tank's empty at the minute.
It's brilliant, and the technology's brilliant.
Yeah. So when you're filling up your fresh water tank, that is the gauge that will knock up. I think it knocks up to 5 blocks in total at the top.
Right.
Okay, so that's where you can keep an eye on it internally, if you did want to. So, moving down to this side, top one is your awning light. So that's the light that's on the side of the vehicle on the outside. Second one down is your dimmable lights. Now if you notice, it's all the ones above your cupboards and all across the back as well.
Got it.
But every time you switch your dimmer ones on, it'll always come up and say dimmer level on your main screen there. Now if you press the select button, the one in the middle there, we can change the brightness. So we can turn it up as high as 100. Or, when you're cracking a bottle of both bubbly in here later, you can turn it down as low as 5 as well.
Well, that's nice.
How did you get that to go down?
So you just keep pressing the middle one and it goes up.
Yeah.
So it goes up as high as 100 and then it just resorts back down to 5.
Oh, got
So 100 and then it goes back down to 5.
Now, what are the lights? Are
LEDs.
LEDs, yeah, they're all LEDs.
I guess we'll ever have to bother with them.
No, very, very rarely. Now, third one down is all the rest of the lights inside the vehicle. But all that does is send the power to the switches. So for main example, I've left your entry lights off here. If you want to press that one on the wall, oh no, sorry, it was this one, that one there I think is. One closest one to us. Oh no, furthest one away there. So there's that many light switches in it. There you go. So if you notice, these lights are on now.
Oh yeah.
So all that third one down does is send the power to all the switches. Now you will have, I could spend hours showing you what light switch does what, but I'll let you have the adventure of finding out where everything is. The one that did get me, which I will show you, I think it is this one. If you look down on the floor, see underneath the cupboard there?
Oh yeah.
You see, so it's little marker lights.
Gotcha.
So if someone's in bed and you need to go out and come back in, at least you don't have to illuminate the place to have some light.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay?
Absolutely brilliant.
And then the last one now is for your water pump. So, water pump on is as simple as that. Now, as you can hear, your pump's not running now. That's just the one at the bottom here.
Got him.
Your pump's not running now because I've already pressurised up your system. But imagine now you've drained down your water boiler. So you've come back again. So you got to the site, you've filled up your fresh water tank, you've come in here, that's all the way full. You've closed your yellow valve there. Now all you need to do is come in here, switch your water pump on, and now simply come to your tap. So it's cold side first, so I'll just show you on your tap. It's cold side first, until you've got constant running water. Shut it off, round to the hot, and just leave it running on that. Now it took about a minute and a half, something like that, because you can imagine what it's doing is pushing all the air out the tank, push all the air out the pipeworks. Once you've got running water to both sides of your tap here, that's your water system primed and ready to go for you.
Brilliant.
Okay, that make more sense now on the water.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Is it?
Yeah.
You really only switch that on, fill it up, switch that on, it does it for you.
Yeah. Now the other thing is with these modern boilers, that element in for the hot water tank will not heat up until there's water present. So even if you've got everything switched on, it doesn't matter because it will not heat up until there's water there.
Brilliant.
So you don't have to worry about burning your element out or something. That's all a thing in the past. Now that's the basics for this so far. You're happy with that?
Yeah, I've worked that out.
Okay. Now to wake it up, you can just wave your hand past it. And it lights it back up for you. I'm now going to talk about this side. So you've got your up and down arrows and select in the middle.
Yeah.
So we're on dimmer level. I'm going to push down. First thing that comes is heater setting. So if I press select now, what you can do here is change it from manual control, which means we're in control of the heating on there, to app. So this is where on Swift Command, if it is something you wanted to use, if you download the app, you can control your heating and the lights and the power source and everything.
I don't understand that. That'd be apps.
It wouldn't do it on his. It would on his. It would be on my phone.
On yours.
But I'm not sure we'd want that.
Yeah.
Why would you need that? Would you do that outside to turn it on?
You can. It is.
Is that the idea?
You can use Bluetooth, which means you're in control of it here, where you have got some controls over the internet. So over the internet, you can use things like a location service, so you can track the vehicle where it is. You can also switch your heating on and off via the internet. There is a whole list of... But I think what I'll do is I'll just talk you through the basics of it, and if it is something you're interested in, I can do a little bit afterwards for you as such.
It's straight over here with me, that's
It was the same as me when I started. So what I'll do is I'll leave it on manual for now.
Yeah,
now if I push
understand that.
If I push down, it'll say exit settings, press select, comes back out of that menu for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one's, where do we go to? So we've done heater settings. Next one down, system settings. Press select again, it opens up the menu. Now all it is to start with is the clock. So that's the hours, the minutes, the date, the month and the year. Then key beep, if you want it to beep every time you press a button. Backlight is how long this screen stays lit for, and LED times is the amount of time these little blue lights stay lit for. Okay, it will time out so it's not a bright light when you're in bed. Then tank alarms, so this will let you know when you're running out of fresh water.
Oh, that's good.
So it gives you a beeper. When it is beeping, to silence it, all you need to do is just press the select button and it'll silence the alarm.
But
for
you've
you.
got a gauge anyway, so that's just an extra.
Yeah, you've got a gauge. It's just an extra. It just lets you know when your tanks are getting either empty or full. And then Bluetooth pair, this is where you would hook a device up if you are interested in the Swift command. But I'll say, we'll talk about this first and I'll come back to Swift command. And then just Bluetooth delete.
Okay.
Okay? Now, exit settings takes me back out that setting. So, what's it showing us now? Leisure battery charge. So that's showing us how much voltage is in your leisure battery. Okay,
Yeah.
you see it says leisure there, so you know that's onboard battery. Then, vehicle battery. So it's letting me know the vehicle battery charge as such. Now, what it is at the minute, it's running off the vehicle battery. So you see that's 14 volts.
Yeah.
Because that onboard charger at the minute is running off the vehicle battery, so it's recharging that back up.
Right.
So when you're on a site, you can charge either or battery, but you need to be selected to run off that battery, which I'll get to in a second.
Is that telling you what it's holding, that battery?
That's showing me the charge in it, so it's letting me know there's 14 volts. Now, even though it's only a 12 volt battery, it's saying 14 because it's got the battery charger going through it at the minute
Right,
as well.
okay,
so if you notice, your leisure one,
so that's fully
is
charged.
12.8. Yeah, that's a fully charged battery.
Yeah.
And then your vehicle battery is as well.
Yeah.
But it's just getting recharged up at the minute because it's running off the vehicle battery.
Understand.
Okay. Then solar panel. So it's just letting me do. It's doing next to nothing at the minute. But obviously your batteries are fully charged up, so it hasn't really got anything to do.
Where's that? Is the solar panel?
Somewhere at the back there, I think. It's just above the back cupboards there in that corner, I think it is.
Okay.
They move again. It's one of them things that they move around. So battery select. So this is where we can change it over. So if we press select there, now you see it's gone to leisure. So it's got a little L on the screen there, and you see the charge in your leisure battery now shot up to 14. That's because imagine now we're running off that back 12 volt system,
yep.
But the battery charger is now running through that to charge it. So if I change it again, change to vehicle, again it jumps over to vehicle, it comes up with a V in the top corner there, but now we're running off and it's charging your vehicle battery. So when you're on site and you're plugged into electrics, you can charge up either or battery. But ideally, really, you want to be running off your leisure.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you flatten your vehicle battery,
Yeah.
it's good just to top your battery up as such.
It really wants another battery in as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends on how much wild
Well,
you're going to do, because don't forget that solar panel will keep that battery alive.
You could be carrying that around for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd look and see how you get on really. With the solar panel, it will keep the battery alive. It won't keep it fully charged, but it keeps enough life in it. So next time you plug into the mains, it will just recharge back up the battery.
Does it do that automatically then? When it does it automatically going along? If you don't switch that green thing off, it'll just do it.
Yeah. Just does it as you go. So next one down now, tank heaters. What this is like a frost protection. This is your onboard tanks now. So your onboard fresh water and your onboard waste. How this works with that on is, say it drops down below, it's about 6 degrees I think it is, the element will heat in. It won't heat it up as such, but it stops it from freezing.
Frost, yeah, like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that automatic? Or do you?
No, you need to turn that on. What they have got is automatic drain downs. So if you haven't got them switched on and it's starting to freeze up, they will automatically open up and empty themselves.
Do they?
So it stops everything from freezing and causing any internal damage. Where the switches are, they've just got like frost sensors on them. So as soon as it reaches below a certain, it automatically opens up to drain it down for you. So it's like an anti-frost thing, so you can't do any damage to the vehicle as such. Okay, but obviously with that switched on, that overrides them valves, so it stops the tanks from freezing up for you. Okay?
Yep.
Then, AC limit. So you've already talked about going abroad. You may find on some crazy sites you'll have a 6 amp limit. What you can do is set a 6 amp limit inside the vehicle.
So it can't.
What it mainly does is, say if you flick a kettle now and it's thinking, wow, they want 6 amps, it'll switch off your heating system in that period that the kettle's boiling. Once the kettle's finished boiling, it'll resort back to its normal function.
Aren't they usually lower though abroad? Not.
No, 6. Well, I haven't heard of anyone lower than 6, and they normally say you can pay extra and have 10.
I've seen on some sites the 10 over here, aren't they?
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, you do get. They're mainly 16. So, like, I love to stay up there. 16, fantastic. You've got all the power in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are right. Some sites are 10, and again, you can set a 10 amp limit. And what it does, it stops you going out every 2 minutes and resetting it on the post out there. It's not foolproof, so you can still overload your system.
So, if something, what do we have to change that?
No, we'll set it to whatever level you want. I mean, if you're up on Love to Stay,
I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's only when you're abroad and you're not planning to do
But the
that.
one that we're going to is only 10.
yeah. So all you do is come into your AC limit, press select, and set it at 10. And what it will do is do its best to control it internally rather than you having to go outside and reset the post outside. Okay. But then all you do to turn it off or turn it up is keep going up. Once it gets to 16, it goes back to off now. Okay, so everything always goes up and just back down again, if you get what I mean. It's just a constant cycle for the select. Okay, then, last bit. So, internal temperature, if I press select, it'll tell me the internal humidity, and it'll also tell me the external temperature as well.
Alright.
Okay, so you've got like a little mini weather station as such. And then we're back to dimmer level though. Okay. Now, I know that's a lot of information, but my main thing, as long as you're happy, you can get your lights on and switch your water pump on. I'm a happy boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that one there does the temperature inside, the heating inside?
No, that's just a thermometer to let you know the temperature.
Okay.
Nothing to do with the heating whatsoever.
Okay.
The two we've got here now are your drained downs for your onboard waste tank and your freshwater tank. So to drain them down, all you simply need to do is press that button, and it will automatically open up the valve for you and drain the tanks out. Now the drain offs are just underneath where the bench is there. There's a grey one and a blue one. The blue is obviously your fresh water, the grey is your waste. But they're obviously on the outside of the van.
Sorry, where are they?
On the external, about where the bench is there, but imagine underneath the van.
Okay.
So the pipes are underneath, and all you do is when you press that button, it opens up that tank and it drains it straight out the pipe for you. So obviously when you're on a park and you're draining it down the drains, all you need to do is park it over the drain, lift the drain cover up, press your waste, and it'll empty all your waste out for you automatically. There's no valves or anything to open up. Instead of when in the olden days you'd have had a valve you have to open up under the van, all you need to do now is press that and it'll automatically open it up and drain it for you.
Okay, how do you know what... Silly question.
Yeah.
How do you know when it's drained?
It'll do it.
Your gauges here. So remember your gauges, that's your freshwater tank, and that will be your waste tank.
Okay, if you've got a full water tank, fresh water tank, and you want to drain some off and leave a bit in, and you press the fresh button.
Yeah, so all you do is
if you want to
press that, when you want to stop it, switch it off.
Okay. That's
it's as easy
I
as
you
that.
could do that. I thought
yeah,
once it was
yeah, no, I won't do it too much because I'll flood poor Trevor out next door.
No, that's okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So then, now I'll do your Aldi controls next.
Right.
It's alright, my back's standing up a long time. I've got a sciatica problem.
Oh, so there's your control panel. So easy. Top one, I know, sorry. The top one is your thermostat for your central heating. All you do is plus and minus, same as your house, and set it whatever level you want your heating system to come on it. It's as easy as that. Next one down is hot water. So that's hot water off, that's hot water on, and then you've also got hot water boost. So when that black bar's full, what that means now, it's switched off your central heating and it's put all its power into that hot water boiler. So all it means is it will reheat that tank faster than it will in normal operation. Okay, but when you're done with hot water boost, you do need to just turn it back off. Okay, now the next two down are your power selects. So top one's electric, bottom one's gas. So at the minute now I'm running on just electric, and it will run on 1 kilowatts, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts. Now the easiest way of describing that, think of old Granny May's electric bar fire. So 1 kilowatts is one element, 2 kilowatts is 2 and 3 kilowatts is 3 elements going. All it is the more power you send to the unit, the faster it'll heat up for you.
Right.
Okay, and then obviously gas is just green is gas on, blue is gas off. Now that's just your heating and hot water, this is. Okay, so obviously 3 kilowatts of electric and your gas is maximum power. So that's the fastest that your system will heat up for you. Okay. Okay.
So that gas there is just for
the central heating and the hot water boiler.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Now that's the basics on that. Are you happy with that?
We'll work it out from
there.
Yeah.
Without
Well, as I say, top one thermostat, second one down hot water, and then the bottom 2 are your power selects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'll press the little cogs, and it brings up the rest of the menus. Now I'll scoop through them because I don't want to overload you with useless information. But the moon symbol is a night timer, so if you like it colder at night, you can program it so every night at a set time it turns down to whatever temperature you like it to be. The sun is just the opposite; it's a day timer. Prioritise is just what power source it looks for originally. It's always on electric because 9 out of 10 times we're all plugged into electric. Backlight is how the screen stays lit. Anything that's greyed out, don't worry about. The little clock is just setting the time. The Pac-Man is an antibacterial feature in your hot water boiler. With it switched on, it heats it up in the middle of the night and sanitises the tank for you. Then offset, so this is where you'll notice the temperatures will always be different between these two because the sensors are in different places in the vehicle. So you can adjust this one so it reads the same as that. Then mountaineering, so if you go over 1,000 metres sea level, you can put it in high altitude mode, so it draws in extra air to make up for the lack of oxygen higher up. Key beep, delayed start timer, so if you leave it somewhere you could plugged in, you can have a once a week program that runs on, so say it switches on a Monday morning and switches off on a Monday night. Pump, I will show you this one. Thermostat, you want to see that on. If you turn that on to constant, you will cook in here. You'll know what boiling a bag of rice feels like. So always leave it on thermostatly controlled, because otherwise your heating will get to 30 degrees and stay there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you'll cook inside here. Then last couple of bits. Reset, so the same as everything electrical nowadays, as our tablets and our iPhones and everything, switch it off, switch it back on again. So it's just a reset there. Externally is where you can get a mobile phone attachment, but you don't need it because you've got Swift Command here. Language if you want to speak French or German to it. Service just brings up general information and alarm faults and things. And then installed accessories. Only one thing I'll show you in here. If you do ever want to use the heating side of the app, you need to have this on app and that on third party. Okay, and then you can use your telephone to control your heating system rather than using the control panels in here. Okay, happy with that?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, you can put your arm down now because I bet it's about to drop off. Everyone puts a brave face on it, but yeah, I filmed it one day and it's a lot of arm ache, isn't it? So in the cupboard at the top up here, there's your solar panel box in the back. So as you can see, it's got some flashing lights on at the minute, so that means it's putting some power in. If both lights are solid, it means it's putting all its power in. And if there's no lights on it whatsoever, it's got nothing to do and it switches itself off.
All right.
But it literally just gets on with it. You don't have to turn it on and off or anything, it just sits there and does its job.
Okay.
Okay. So, when we hand it down, fridge. So, on off is the one on the end. Then you've got 4 power select buttons here. So you've got mains electric, you've got gas, you've got vehicle battery for when you're going down the road. But obviously it's going to beep at me now because the engine's not running, so there's no power source there. And then what you have got is automatic mode. So what the A does, it always looks for electric first, but if you weren't plugged into electric, it'll then look for gas. If it can't find any gas, it'll then look for the vehicle battery. So no matter what you're doing, as long as you're doing something, you've either got your gas on, your electric, or you're driving down the road, it will hunt out a power source for you. So imagine now, you got this on and you were packing up and going on to another site, you won't even have to touch this. All you need to do is pull your electric out, start it up and off you go down the road. And the fridge will automatically scroll through the different power sources. Once it's found one, it'll switch itself on. Okay? Now, on gas and electric, your fridge is working at full power. On the vehicle battery, it just holds the temperature. So if you want to travel with items in your fridge, get it nice and cold on either gas or electric first, and then just change it over to the vehicle battery. Okay, and then all it is press the button, and there's your lovely fridge. Okay. And then, no, and a lovely freezer box in the top. You can remove the freezer box, but I've got 2 little nieces, and if there wasn't ice popped in Uncle Obie's freezer, they'd be World War III, so I keep my ice box in. Okay. Then we've got your lovely cupboard with your rack as well, or your little drawer that pulls out the top there for you. And you've got your draining board and your chopping board inside there. There is a couple of gas shut-off valves down the bottom there. They are labelled up on that white sticker. But our main advice, if you ever smell gas, is just to switch your gas bottle off. They're more there if an engineer ever wants to play with you. You're with your boiler, your fridge or your cooker or anything.
Okay.
Okay. Microwave, so simple. You can just press quick start and it goes up in minutes. But if you also press microwave, that's your power output. If you press microwave again, and there's your timer. Okay, and then just start and stop.
Sorry, yeah.
So press microwave once,
Yeah.
that's your power output. So obviously that's 100%, or you can turn it down,
yes,
to whatever one you want.
I
But then if you press
understand.
microwave again, and there's your timer for you.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
and then start and stop.
Yeah.
Now, my first advice, definitely take that out for when you're travelling. You may want to take that out as well,
Okay.
because no matter whether you spend £400,000 or £40 on a motorhome, it will rattle when you go down the road. But you will learn what to take out and what to put where to silence everything. So I've heard 1,000,001 different tricks of things between towels and rubber mats, but definitely take these out, because if that happens to jump out, you will not believe how expensive these are to replace. Also, it's hard to get another one of these. So just take it out, wrap it in a towel, pop it in there, or very simply pop it underneath one of your cushions there. Okay. But you will go round the first few times you go out and find where to silence everything, because it will. Yeah, if you're like me, if I find a rattle in the car, I don't stop until I found it. But you'll get used to that one. Next one down, cooker. So obviously your lid is what shuts your gas off. With your lid open, that sort of activates your cooker for you. Okay. Electric ring on the back relates to your electric ring there, and it does light up nicely to know when you've got it on.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously that will only run off the mains electric. It won't work off your 12 volt. We've then got 1, 2, 3 gas burners with a lovely 12 volt igniter. So all it is turn, hold, and engage. So we go. Last but not least,
Where's your gas coming from?
It's connected
and my
to
mains gas.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a gas pipe on there. But remember, if your gas isn't ever lighting, just make sure you've pressed that button on the lead or the crash sensor. Okay, they're the main two things that do catch people out with motorhomes, because you forget by the time I've finished the demonstration, you'll forget that. But if you ever can't get your gas on there, that's the first place to check inside your gas cupboard.
Okay.
It's easily done. So below, got your grill pan and handle inside there for you. And the grill, this one here, again, it's just turn, hold, and ignite. As easy as that. Okay. Now, your oven below is slightly different, because it's got its own sparker. So you don't need to spark it as such. And all you do is turn, hold. Now, if you notice, you see it lights up on the bottom.
Yes.
So they've revolutionarily changed caravan ovens now, and they've put the burners underneath rather than at the back. So the ovens are supposed to work a lot better now.
Is there any extractors?
Yeah, they're above your head.
Oh, just that, yeah.
Yeah, just that one there. Okay. Now,
Okay.
the last one that's you have got a light for your oven as well,
Yes.
but it's just a hold. Obviously, you let it go, it goes off. The last one, there is a fan here. Now, it's only a light. What the fan is if you've got the oven or the grill on and this area is getting hot, this automatically switches on the fan to keep these cool. So you know these buttons don't get hot, because otherwise you find you'll be melting them as such. So the fan kicks in when it needs to, cools this area off here. When the fan's not needed, it just shuts itself off.
Okay.
Okay. Happy with that?
Yes.
And the lid does very nicely. It does sit down very tight, so at least that won't be rattling when you go. But you may find, you may want to take that out.
Yes.
You imagine that's going to rattle. And you may even find, you may want to take that out as well. But these are all things you'll learn when you go down the road. It's the joys of owning a motorhome. And then you have just got a little bit of a storage cupboard just underneath the bottom there as well.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, the plug socket there relates to your electric ring at the top.
Okay.
Okay. So, what should we do next? Should we mosey in the bathroom? Well, I'll get in the bathroom. I'll get in the shower, it's probably easier. It's the safest place for me to stand. So, light switches are just on the side here. One's your light switch, the other one is the fan for your shower. Okay, so obviously there's no skylight as such in here, but there's your ventilation, obviously when you're in the shower, because you don't want to steam out the whole motorhome when you're in the shower. The other one I said about your heating, it blows behind here and it blows out inside here, so that's what warms you inside here as such. thought there was a vent, but no, it's not a vent. So it just blows out warm air inside of here for you. There is a vent in here somewhere, if I can find it.